Hello guys, it's Darkseiner here from the German Duel Masters channel and welcome back to another video. Today I got the IDC 18 finals for you guys, where we have Xboom 3000 at the top of your screen versus Live at the bottom of your screen. Xboom is on Light Fire Nature aggro and Live is on Hydro Hurricane. Though I remember that Xboom is I think on a very small light package. I think only Magris and Holy Ore are his two only cards, so it's more like a Fire Nature aggro deck with a light splash in it. And let's see how it performs here in the finals. Interesting here we see Tajimal from Live. He has it in his Hydro deck for a long time. And I think it's not good. I think it's very suboptimal, really subpar. You always want to play Palaolesis on turn 3 and not Tajimal. But against Fire Nature specifically, it's pretty good. So yeah, maybe Tajimal can stop a bit of stuff here on its own. Pala, of course, with 2-5 not being the biggest threat. You need like two of them or Petrova, whereas Tajimal can stop some other stuff. Also Marino hitting two warders here. Yeah, this game so far shows why I don't like Tajimal and Marino in the deck. Those two didn't do him quite like a favor here from this position like Tajimal did. It stopped like the creatures from attacking, so that was quite solid as a choice versus aggro, but I think against control it's pretty much dead. It does nothing, while Palaolesis boosts your cards out of the range of fire removal spells, which is great. And Marino is just not the best draw card for this deck because you want to play a lot of water cards. You don't want to cut like your water section just to add Marino. Like Mistrias is the better draw card, though a bit more conditional, but like Marino is also conditional. And yeah, the most interesting card on the board here, even though I just ranted a bit about Tajimal and Marino, they are still somewhat like known to be played in meta decks. And then we have this Earthstomp Giant, which is really big and double breaker, very strong. But when attacking, he needs to take back his whole creatures from the mana zone. So he's left with only two cards. Meanwhile, Tajimal got removed with Rebirth, which gave Xboom a Bronzam Tribe. Maybe he wanted to fish for another spell in mana, so he has more stuff to do next turn rather than getting like a Pyrofighter. Now his board gets broken by Pit and two attacks. But still, if he has the Pyrofighter, which I think we know, yeah, here it is. He can still go for game if there's no triggers left, which there aren't. So Xboom taking game 1 here really showed off his deck very well. It's very far from standard, I would say. Yeah, you have like stables like Bronzam Tribe and Pyrofighter Magnus, but also like the Essence Elf Rebirth strategy, a lot of spells, so Earthstomp doesn't hurt you too much, like Searing Wave and Holy Ore. Of course, stuff like Gonta is still in the list. But yeah, overall, a very interesting deck, and got all the way to finals with it, which is already a great accomplishment. Let's see if we can finish it off. Now we see the superior 3-drop Tajimal in mana and Palaolesis in turn 3. Like I said, I think you always want that over Tajimal, to be honest. Belix though I find quite interesting. I think that's a solid choice because it can get Hydro back and count as one of the light targets, which makes him better than Thrashcrawler. Locomotiver hitting Ancient Horn. Oh no, that would have been so great in turn 5. That's also like a very nice synergy here. Searing Wave in turn 4 thanks to Essence Save. That's great, clearing Loco because he's only 3k with Pala. Pala itself also below 3k. That allows X-Boom to go in here. Clamp plus Laura Giga. Let's see if he has a handguard. No, it was Contra and Rebirth. So Clamp plus blocker stops X-Boom completely in his tracks because attacking wouldn't matter because he would block one and then counter attack the next turn. Yeah, like Claude Alpha says in the chat, risky play for high reward. But if you're in a losing position, there are no risky plays basically. You have to take the risks and start going in. Another Searing Wave by X-Boom, that's great. But now also Life getting some shield triggers here, Terror Pit clearing, Bronze Arm Tribe saving an attack. Rias plus Skido gets him a draw, gets him a blocker. Maybe that's enough to stabilize finally. And only passing from X-Boom. He did absolutely nothing this turn. Maybe he has multi-Civ cards like Rebirth and yeah, doesn't want to charge it. I don't know, maybe like Rebirth and a handguard. So like a situation where he doesn't want to charge anything. Not too sure, but doesn't look too good for him now. Petrova being out for life. Definitely in a better position right now, and also he has 5 cards in hand, so he should be able to deal with quite a lot of cards here. Also because of 2 Searing Waves, Life only needs to clear 3 shields to go for game, so he doesn't even have to like mana burn X-Boom into oblivion. The Loco here hitting Holy Awe. If he held that, I maybe would have charged it, because at this point it's not really that relevant. Like, it's only good for like going for the last finishing blow, but for that you need to have a field set up, and that's not the case at the moment for X-Boom. Yeah, like I said, I don't think Life has to concentrate on like the mana burn portion of his deck too much. Just needs to get some attackers on board, and then like Petrova is unaffected, so there shouldn't be too much that stops him. Like, also you saw 1 Holy Orgon, so there can't be too many more. X-Boom swapping in the Rumbling Terrorhorn. But I don't know which creature helps you in this situation. Another Terrorhorn, so he just wants to keep the chain going, like Hulkus Magris type of thing, like just chain it and get beaters on board while maintaining your hand. But the problem is Rias draws and draws, and Life's field's getting bigger and bigger. Even a Hydro Hurricane now, yeah, would be very good. Bouncing the whole board and 3 mana. Also right choice of mana here, not giving him the Essence Elf back and Bronze Arm Tribe. Yeah, Dimension Gate, not an ideal trigger. I think maybe 1 poke is enough. Goes for a 2nd poke, but then I would leave like the last shield. But yeah, never mind, it's Holy Awe anyway, so there's no choice. But I wouldn't even have attacked here with Petrova, because you know you're probably winning next turn. Or maybe he would like to force out a Holy Awe. When thinking about that, that's probably a good idea. Now, yeah, that game is over. Like, X-Boom can't do anything, even if it's a Holy Awe and shields. Like, doesn't have enough mana for a double Pyro Fighter, and yeah, the shield needs to be exactly Holy Awe. It can't be Holy Awe and like Torcon. Fall for Hydro Hurricane for the complete mana burn, and yeah, this is game over. Live taking game 2, so we are tied at 1-1 in this finals and need a game 3 to decide who is going to win this IDC. Rebirth being charged. Turn 1, that's good. Getting the multi-mana out of hand early. But Live having the early blocker here. So unless he has Gonta, oh yeah, that makes things interesting. If X-Boom didn't have Gonta, I think this would have already been such a huge advantage for Live here. But Gonta, yeah, doesn't really care too much about Laura. Can just go over it, and you don't jump block here. You want to get some card advantage going, but now with Pala Ulises, the Laura Giga suddenly is a 4k, so you can trade with Gonta. So now maybe a Searing to clear the Pala, yeah. The Laura stays on board. But now Laura's again only 2k, so I agree with using the Searing just as a 1-for-1 removal for Pala Ulises. Would have done that like any day of the week. That's a good choice here. But Live has all the small blockers. Yeah, his list is very catered against aggro, and it shows its fruits now. Like he's definitely benefiting from his deck building choices now. The Rumbling Terrorhorn is nice, but doesn't really solve like the issue of this already like huge blocker wall. Of course they are not powerful, but still 3 blockers in the way. I think he needs like another Searing Wave to clear 2 Laura Gigas at once. And like now it's the question, do you attack with Gonta, because Mosquito will probably just trade. Maybe he just hopes that he lets it through. Yeah, Live has to think about it. Does he want the card? Yeah, he lets it through, but gets rewarded because he hits Locomotiver, which puts X-Boom down to 0 cards in hand. Petrova boosting Guardians probably, yeah, and that can kill Gonta now. And now he's established again pretty safely here. Earthstomp is nice, that can go over all the stuff, but he has the jump blockers. Live probably wanting to play the Merino instead of charging it. No, he plays Mistrias and then at least gets 1 draw with Merino next turn. Yeah, I think it's looking very grim for X-Boom because Live is completely established. Earthstomp can just be jump blocked. And yeah, Rebirth doesn't work on Mistrias because he has 6k. So we're just resolving the stuff here. Windex doesn't get played because Rias isn't a legal target. So I think the only he can target like Skido, go for a Gonta or the Locomotiver and play. I think he plays Utsizol, so he could get a speed attacker out. And yeah, he does go for the route that kills Loco. But Mistrias draws a card. He has 4 attackers. Live has 3 blockers, so one attack will go through, but I think you chump block here, definitely, because you don't want to go to 0 shields. Yeah, even that's interesting. That maybe telegraphs Life has a Hydro in hand, and he wants to use the bounce on Earth Stomp, because keeping the Skido means he really values it being darkness, because Laura is just the bigger body and Bloody Skido dies when it blocks, so would be perfect like jump block with it. But of course, if he has Hydro, he can bounce the Earth Stomp, which will not see the battlefield again, because Earth Stomp sadly burns your own mana. Calls Guardian again, so he can just walk over the Earth Stomp here. Yeah, like Petrova calling Guardian again, seems like he should have kept the second Laura Giga on board, but oh well. Maybe he's thinking some turns ahead for the Hydro that bounces stuff. 2 Petrova means like it's also very safe to go for game in a few turns for him. He just needs to survive like a bit more. Now I think X-Boom just hopes that Life doesn't play any more blockers, which that wish doesn't come true here. Plays Laura, Giga, Pala, and the Stream. So he has 4 blockers against 4 attackers now. This field looks pretty unbeatable. Like, I think no deck with 3 mana can deal with that board. You need like something like Crystal Paladin, Scarlet, something like that. And even then, yeah, it's hard. I think Life just needs to assemble some more attacking creatures. And yeah, clearing that this is a full board clear with Holio. At this point, it's pretty much GG time. I think X-Boom just plays it out because it's the finals, but I think we all know this game is definitely over. There's no coming back against this board. Plays another Skeeto, now probably a Hydro, yeah, so you can bounce everything, the whole field and the mana, so yeah, there's nothing that can happen. I think, yeah, you just go in here, that's a 2-turn clock, and next turn the game will be over. So yeah, congrats to Life for winning IDC 18 with Hydro Hurricane. Also, of course, congrats to X-Boom for reaching the finals with his deck. I think that's a very good accomplishment for him as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed the match. And with that, see you guys at the next one.